good morning. I'm going to get right into it, but thanks for coming out today. Of course, I'll be making forward-looking statements. Copper is one of the most important metals for a modern society. If you look around you, there's pretty much not anything that doesn't require copper to light up or turn on, or pretty much anything that's made with anything electric requires copper, obviously. China and India, there'll be several billion more people who want everything that we've got in this room here, and who's going to deny them to have that. Anything green, anything environmentally friendly takes a lot more copper. It takes 3 to 5 times more copper to produce a megawatt of power from green energy, solar, wind, than it does from coal. So hybrid cars, electric cars, they take a lot more copper to run the car than an internal combustion engine. So why NovaCopper? If I can convince you that copper is important, why NovaCopper? We're developing a district-scale, high-grade copper project, actually a couple of projects, in a mining-friendly jurisdiction, Alaska. We have supportive shareholders and a strong stakeholder relations program, which includes a business partnership with an Alaska Native corporation. We have a management team and a board that has pretty much done this before. We have a history of major discoveries and the know-how on how to advance them through to feasibility and production. So we'll take a closer look. Starting with our shareholder base, it's a blue chip shareholder base. Electrum, Baupost, Paulson, Resource Capital, they own over 50% of the company. What's really important about this is they understand the mining business, and specifically the exploration business requires long-term patient capital. And they've been very supportive of the programs we've engaged in. We're well financed. We completed an acquisition of a cashed up junior company that not only added significant gold property to our portfolio, but it also increased our balance sheet to about $20 million. If you'd like an independent view of the company, I suggest you look at Haywood, Solomon, and Wainwright in their research reports. The Ambler Mining District is located in northwest Alaska. It's a safe and mining-friendly jurisdiction. It's a great place to work. The Department of Natural Resources of the state of Alaska really does know and understand how to permit a modern mine. The Northwest Arctic Borough specifically is very familiar with mining and very supportive of mining. They've been the host to the Red Dog mine, which is the largest zinc mine in the world, for the last 25 years. They understand that the mine pays good salaries and provides the borough with most of its tax revenue base. Interestingly enough, jobs at mines really fit well with the native Alaskan lifestyle. A 2-week on, 2-week off schedule allows people to make not only a good paycheck, but the 2 weeks off, you can practice your traditional way of life, hunting, fishing, and family. One of our partners in developing the Ambler Mining District is the state of Alaska through the Alaska Industrial Development Export Authority, or AIDA. It's essentially a state development infrastructure development bank. AIDA has taken on the responsibility of permitting, financing, and constructing a road linking the Ambler Mining District to the Dalton Highway and then on to the ice-free port at Port Mackenzie in southern Alaska. Their plan is modeled after the highly successful Red Dog port and road facility, which was built and is owned and operated by AIDA. Red Dog pays a toll to use the road. The same model is envisioned for the Ambler Mining District road. Right now, the AIDA is in the process of initiating permitting on the project. They've hired third-party contractors, and they've engaged MOUs with 2 of the principal federal agencies, which are those initial steps that you have to do to go through the permitting process. AIDA has completed a whole raft of environmental studies and is basically in a position to initiate the permitting process. We expect later this year with the formal filing of the notice of intent. Our other partner in this venture is NANA Regional Corporation, an Alaska Native corporation representing about 14,000 Inupiat shareholders. In 2011, we entered into a business arrangement with NANA and combined our mineral rights, the mineral rights that we owned in the district, with the mineral rights that they owned in the district. We formed what we call the Upper Kobuk Mineral Projects, or UKMP. NANA will receive a production royalty and have an option to participate as an equity partner up to 25% if they contribute their capital towards construction of the project. Through the Oversight Committee, NANA and NovaCopper stay in communication with respect to project development and community outreach. Jointly, our lands comprise about 350,000 acres, pretty much the entire Ambler Mining District, which I'll show you a map of a little bit later. So let me just talk about I'm going to talk about two deposits, Arctic and then Bornite. So I'm going to start with Arctic. It's the higher grade of the two. It's a 6% copper equivalent volcanogenic massive sulfide. We heard a bit more about those earlier. Ours, again, is polymetallic in nature. It's roughly 27 million tons of 3% copper, 4% zinc, along with some precious metal credits. The deposit sits on the side of the hill as a series of dipping massive sulfide lenses, pretty much underneath that hill, about 130 meters. It is amenable to open pit mining. So again, 3% copper, open pit mining. We completed a PEA on the project. Some of the work we've completed included metallurgy, district-wide metamorphism and recrystallization have resulted in some really good metallurgy. Massive sulfides can typically not have great metallurgy. Based on the preliminary engineering and metallurgical work, we'll produce 3 concentrates, a copper con containing about 29% copper plus precious metals, a 56% zinc con, and a 50% lead con, again with additional precious metal credits. On a value basis, we're about 60% copper, 20% zinc, and 15% precious metals, so about 5% lead. Based on the 2013 PEA and using reasonable long-term metal prices of $2.90 copper, a 10,000 ton per day open pit operation would produce, on average, on an annual basis, 125 million pounds of copper, 150 million pounds of zinc, 25 million pounds of lead, about 30,000 ounces of gold, and 2.5 million ounces of silver over a 12-year mine life. It's a pretty healthy production rate for a very small footprint mine. Cash costs we expect to be about 62 cents a pound, net of byproduct credits. All-in cash costs, including initial capital, sustaining capital, OPEX, TCRCs, and royalties would be about $1.26. So very much at the low end of the cost curve. On a capital basis, we measure what we call capital intensity, dollars per producing a ton of copper. We're at about $7,000 per ton of copper production. The average for most of the big Andean porphyries these days, porphyry coppers, is between 20 and 25. So on both OPEX and capital investment basis, you can see that Arctic has extremely good and competitive economics. NPV at an 8% discount rate is over $500 million. This year we completed a $5.5 million exploration program, about 3,000 meters of infill drilling, mainly to convert inferred resources to measured and indicated, along with some geotech and hydrology. We did a lot of waste rock characterization work to determine potentially acid-generating rock from non-acid-generating rock, wetland studies, LiDAR surveys, basically a whole bunch of things to work towards completing a pre-feasibility study. We'll have a bit more work to do next year with the plan then to complete the pre-feasibility study next year. Arctic's the largest and highest grade VMS deposit in the district. The district's about 100 kilometers long. Right to the south of it is the Bornite deposit. That is a very high quality open pit and underground deposit. You can see the exploration results there basically indicate that this thing is wide open. There's about 125 million tons of open pittable resource at 1% and 56 million tons at 3% potentially underground mineable. You've seen this map before. We seem to all have the same map here, but the new one on there is Mount Isa, one of the famous copper districts. Essentially, Arctic and Bornite, you can see the scale of the relative scale of the districts here, but Arctic and Bornite combined have half of what Mount Isa has produced over the last 75 years. We think it's time to go find the other half. So, grade is king, 3% copper, 4% zinc. If you like zinc, we got more zinc than copper. Come down and talk to us at the booth, and I will look forward to seeing you there. Thank you very much.